Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we are going to be hanging out with
Conspiracy!
music, aka Clay. It's going to go something like that. And we're going to kick off by playing some of his music. Let's go way back to the past with a bit of old school conspiracy jamming out. Let's do it right now.
Something like that.
What a perfect ending. I didn't expect that. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Jade. This is How to App on iOS, where every day we take a look at apps and music creativity and all manner of things. You name it, it happens here. And at the end of the week, we normally interview some amazing human being who does something really creative, and here we are again today with one of those people. I hope you're all doing really well out there. Thank you for joining me in the chat. There's so many of you there. And what we do here on the show is about 30 minutes in, we'll do a roll call and we'll call out your names just to give everyone a chance to get here. So play nice in the chat. Be friendly with each other. The mods are on there. Mods are on your toes. Anyway, it is Friday here in Australia. It's Good Friday, they call it. Some kind of Easter thing happening. So it's the start of the holiday here for us in Australia. I know you're all a bit behind. We live in the future here in Australia. So good deal. And I have a special guest on today who I hope is going to entertain and enthrall you all. So I first came across this human being, I think on my channel. I saw him lurking around, then I saw him doing some little guitar solos, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he had this fucking show where he's playing everybody's music and everybody's hanging out and having a good time. And that show's been through some changes as well. We'll talk about some of that as well. We've got plenty to talk about today. So without further ado, let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend that will be dispelled today. This is Clay, also known as Conspiracy Music. Let's bring him on. People, make him welcome. Oh, yeah. Welcome aboard, Clay.
Hey, everybody.
What is happening?
I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you.
Definitely happy to be here.
Thank you for taking the time out to come and hang out with us today. And, I wanted to have you on and talk about all the things that are conspiracy music or conspiracy media or whatever it is, because I certainly fucked it up when I sorted out the thumbnail. I'm going to just jump straight in and ask, what is behind the conspiracy music name? Where did all this come from? How did the tag happen?
Well, the conspiracy music actually came from, I started 3 or 4 years ago. I actually wanted to be an activist, and the original my original channel name was Conspiracy Against Transparency, and I wanted to be one of them guys that you saw in the post office holding a camera.
Oh no, an auditor.
Yeah, now I wanted to be one of them guys at one time,
right?
And I did that, and I actually went and did a post office audit, and I stood there in the corner with my camera. And then I was looking around at all the people looking at me, and I just thought, what in the F am I doing here? This is the stupidest thing. How is this activism? So I turned my phone off and I gave up on that. So I changed my name. I was like, well, I need something, because I was doing a bunch of vacation videos at the time. It was the beginning of the pandemic. I wasn't working. So I'm like, well, let's do Conspiracy Media. So I changed it to Conspiracy Media. I did that for like a year, and then I ended up on getting my channel reviewed by the StreamYard guys, and they liked everything about the channel except for the name. When they showed up, the guy was all excited. Yes, conspiracies. I love conspiracy theories. And he pops in my channel. He's like, oh, wait, it's music. So the best advice they could give me is like, we love your channel. You're doing all the right things. You change your name to something that describes what the content is. So
absolutely,
that's when I went to conspiracy music.
I'm so glad you didn't go down that path, because I wouldn't have wanted you to turn out. What's that dude's name who's got the glasses? He always cams up from his car. He's really annoying. Everybody hates him within the auditor community. I can't think of his name. He's got a pretty big channel. He's always asking for money. Oh man. Everybody
there's a bunch of them,
but he's like a real big one. He's a real big one. He's really annoying too. And someone will Chili, that's his name. That dude.
Chili, yeah.
Oh man, I've watched a bunch of his videos and I just want to punch my iPad. That dude is annoying.
Yeah, he's got the indestructible trifold wallet, and he's a constitutional law scholar, but he doesn't hold a law degree, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah. I love that stuff. Well, talking of conspiracies, man, I fell down the conspiracy hole for a while. I think a lot of people here on the channel know my health is really shit. And it's interesting with conspiracies because there's a lot of them that have turned out to be real. Of course, we can't dispel that. But then during the last, I reckon, 6 years, there's been some really wackadoodle ones that have come out of nowhere. And I fell down the hole for a little while, And I think sometimes when people are at their lowest, they can get pulled into them, the real dangerous ones, especially, QAnon, really weird stuff like that. But
Hmm.
it's an interesting subject. I still watch a lot of those channels, but now from a different perspective, as a recovering conspiratoriist, whatever. But yeah. Do you think that name? You mentioned when you did the StreamYard thing that they were kind of like, hey, all right, this is interesting, but hang on, what's going on? It's music. Do you think the word conspiracy intrigues people or brings more people? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think it intrigues people because they're still trying to figure out what the conspiracy is on my channel.
Keep
uh, yeah, I think it's more intriguing than anything. Every now and again, I'll have somebody new will pop into chat, be like, "Oh, I thought this was a conspiracy channel, but I like the show, so I'm gonna stay." Be like, "All right, well, welcome in then," you know. So I guess it does bring some people in from that community, from the conspiracy community, I would assume. And I have played tinfoil hat parties before as well, so
Do you have a foil hat?
I do.
Nice.
I wore one and I played during it, but as far as it comes to conspiracies, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist myself.
I had a girlfriend once who was a bit wackadoodle, probably because of the meth she was on, but that's all right. But she actually said to me one day, "Can we go to my? I've got a container with all my stuff in it. Can we go get my stuff?" And when we opened the doors to a little container she had, there were three tinfoil hats hanging on the wall. And I was like, "Oh fuck!" No wonder she thinks people are talking to her through the television set. Jeez. That relationship ended very quickly. Somebody said here, meth will do that. Yes, absolutely, Rich. Totally will. Let's get into the music questions. Now, you have been quoted as saying music is healing, What does music mean to you, Conspiracy?
Uh, well, music for me is, I guess, it's an escape uh, for your mind. At least that's what I used it for when I was young. I came from a broken family, so for me, it was an escape from the stuff that's going on around me, to more focus on the inner me. And I think that's where I think that music has healing powers. It's more, self-healing. At least for me, that's what the music does for me. And when I play, usually I just play by feel. However, the track makes me feel is just how it comes out. And it seems that other people can relate with that too. So uh, the music that heals me seems to be healing other people as well. Rather that be take their mind off of the daily tasks every day that they deal with, and just even for 5 minutes, take their mind on a journey and forget about the troubles, even if it is for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. I've said this many times. If it wasn't for music in my life and me being a musician my entire life, I would have been dead 100 times over. There's not life isn't worth living if there's no music. You know, it's yeah, it's a very bleak existence without music. Without music during the pandemic, man, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah, well, I got to say, if one good thing that came from the pandemic is I'd lost my job pretty early in the pandemic, like the first month or two. So it really allowed me to pick up the guitar and spend more time getting back into the guitar. And I had a lot more time, my sleep schedule was all messed up anyway, so I had a lot more time. I'd find myself in the middle of the night playing Australian open mic nights, and uh, you know, anybody that would let me up to play, I would be up there playing. Because I was at one time I had 37 subscribers, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone we've had on the show, I normally have a segment where we talk about the pandemic, and we can do it right now. I say it over and over again. I feel incredibly bad for everyone that passed away during that time and all the chaos that happened. But for me, it was like all of a sudden this this gift was given of like my a reset, like to be able to go, oh wow, I can breathe, I can take a breath. The world has stopped, like, and that's a really hard thing to be able to do in this world at the moment. The world seems like it's getting faster and faster and faster, and there's more information. And all of a sudden, we all got to go take a breath, and it was like, shit, I can try, I can take a new direction. And that new direction was this. And I'm sure you're exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. I at the beginning, when I first lost my job, I was just kind of delving into streaming, and I did stream like 10 or 12, 15 shows or something like that. Uh, and I used to stream it, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours right before Hippie Show. I would do a show and then send everybody over there. But then I really didn't spend a lot of time with the music. We needed to get out of the house, so we spent a lot of time in the mountains, traveling, going out of state. So I would take a bunch of videos and that. But then I caught it myself and I got really sick. And I wasn't allowed to go back to work. That's when I decided to start streaming full time.
Yeah, it's all fun and like it's are we sure it's real until you get it. I know when I got it, I was like, Jesus, this is
Yeah,
this is pretty brutal.
I was well, I knew that it existed and I was doubtful about the effects until I got it. And I was laid up for 10 days. I ended up in the hospital for 3 days and I'm still suffering today from it. And
Yeah.
that was, I had it, 6, 8 months ago. I'm still suffering today. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I saw Mr. Protein in the chat say, "Be careful talking about it." See, we don't call it the C word here on the channel, Lord Spike. We call it the inconvenience because that's what it was. It was an
Yeah.
inconvenience for everybody. I mean, that's what a lot of people were, more or less complaining about. I'm inconvenienced, and this is affecting me. Poor old little me with my feelings. It's kind of like the people who watch Star Wars now and get upset that The Mandalorian didn't do what they wanted it to do, so they cry for hours. I don't like it. It didn't do what I wanted. Everyone's
I wanted to
opinions.
just shout out my wife is in chat, Algirl71. And honestly, if it wasn't for her, none of this would have happened. None of this would be possible. She's the one that backs me everything that I do. She backs my music, she backs my streaming, and
And just as he
everything.
said that, she said, "I'm out. Have a good time." Look at you. You've driven her off now, Clay. Thank you, Al girl. Yeah, I will get around to talking about your family because clearly they're very important in your life. But let's talk about, let's go back. Let's go back in time and talk about when you were growing up as a kid and the music that was played in your parents' house. What was the kind of stuff that your parents played? And did you hate it? Did you like it? And did it influence you?
Well, of course, as a kid, I kind of hated it, but growing up at home, we had, of course, the big console record player. So Sundays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we'd always be hearing Johnny Cash, Slim Whitman, uh, classic country for the most part. So that's what my parents listened to uh, growing up in the house. Also, we'd always end up during the state fairs, whatever country artists were there. I think we went and saw Dolly Parton when I was a kid. I think I was
Oh,
like 7 or 8, and we saw Dolly Parton. And so my mom was a big country western fan. So tons of uh, you know, country music and tons of John Wayne movies and Elvis. She was a huge Elvis fan, so tons of Elvis music growing up as well.
it's funny with Dolly Parton. When I was growing up, before I actually heard Dolly Parton's music, I actually before I actually heard her even sing a note or even knew who she was, the first thing I learnt at school was that she had big boobas. And then I found out she was a musician. Man, the things you learn at school from your friends, yeah. So, do you think that music influenced you in any way in what you listen to now, or what you strive to play now, and what's going forward?
Oh, definitely. Now, I mean, I really didn't appreciate music for what it was until I was probably into my 30s. Uh, when I hit my teenage years in the early 80s, it was all metal back then. Everything was metal, all the hair bands, all the hair metal. I mean, everybody, every teenage kid, every teenage white kid that I knew wanted to be a rock star. And of course, I wanted to be one as well. So, on my 16th birthday, my mom bought me this cheap knockoff Fender guitar and an amplifier and a Mel Bay Learn How to Read Tablature book. And I would just sit and study it and learned how to read tablature. And that's how I ended up teaching myself how to play.
Do you recall the first album that was given to you as a gift? And what was the first album you bought with your pretty pocket money?
The first one I bought, I remember, was a Wasp album. That's because we were going to go see Kiss and Wasp that night, and Wasp came to a record signing at the local mall. So I bought a Wasp album or Wasp CD then. That was pretty new back then too, actually. And it ended up being a riot, and the whole CD store got smashed, and I ended up with more than one CD, but that's another story. But that was the first one I paid for, yes. And then the first one I got for a gift was a Disturbed CD.
Oh wow!
But it was the it wasn't the explicit lyrics version, so I gave it back.
Oh man, how metal! How fucking metal is that? Absolutely.
I never really asked for music back then because we had LimeWire. So, I never needed to buy music. I'd just get it off LimeWire.
Yeah, the whole change in music. I mean, it was weird, wasn't it? I grew up with, vinyl and cassettes myself. And then CDs came along, and to me it was a loss. The quality, it was easier to, maintain and keep CDs, but that glorious artwork was gone. But then all of a sudden, in a flash, CDs were gone. CDs were over, and then everything went to streaming. And then Lars Ulrich became a prick, and, everything changed. And here we are in the digital age where everything's mastered to 14 LUFS. We've had loudness wars where everybody's trying to be louder than each other, and now all the streaming services cut you off at a certain level, so everything sounds the same and everything's so homogenized. I saw a video the other day, Clay, talking about volume and mastering. And the guy basically said, for those people who are complaining about cutting off your mastering at 14 LUFS, remember, every single fucker who listens to your music has a fucking volume. If they want to turn it up, they will fucking turn it up regardless on how loud you master it. And it's true. Like, why are we worrying about loudness, Dude, what about the first live gig you ever went to? Like a big stadium.
My very first concert. So there's a little story behind this. I was 16 and I lived with my grandmother, but my grandmother was going out of state to visit our aunt. So she left me $60 for the week, which would have been plenty for what I needed for the week. I was there by myself. But instead I took the $60, picked up my friend. We went and bought 2 tickets to AC/DC with Yngwie Malmsteen, a big bottle of Jack Daniels, and like 4 joints. And blew the whole $60 and went to the concert.
As you do.
Was
it good?
AC/DC and Yngwie Malmsteen. It was good. It was good. And the greatest thing about it, one of the greatest memories about that being my first concert, is we took another friend of ours, and he was never really a partier. So we were passing the bottle of Jack Daniels around while, Yngwie was playing. And then as soon as AC/DC came up and the lights went on, he just started ralphing, and the little circle opened up around him, and he spent the whole AC/DC concert rolling around in his own puke. And we had to pull him out, call his mom. His mom was pissed. We had to call his mom from the concert to come pick him up. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I had a great time, though.
Everyone's saying in the chat too, $60. You can't even like get a bottle of Jack for that. Well, here in Australia anyway.
Well, yeah, back then tickets were $15 each.
Yeah.
And then you could buy a bottle of Jack Daniels for like $12, and then 3 joints for $5.
Tickets to gigs now are like $150 to $200 for a ticket to like Faith No More or something like that here. What the fuck? You're giving up your pension just to go and see a band these days. No wonder we're all here on fucking YouTube watching live streams.
I actually get to go see a concert on the 21st. I won't be streaming on the 21st. Actually, it's a Friday. And the reason why I won't be streaming that night is because the wife bought us Gary Newman tickets.
Ooh.
So we're going to go watch Gary Newman with Ministry.
Wow, what a combination.
Yeah.
I love gigs like that when they put 2 artists that you wouldn't expect together, because it unites. It brings people who would normally not, listen to certain things. I can't stand people who stay in their lane with music and go, I only listen to this type of music. People need to open up and listen to lots more music.
But I think what we might do on the 21st, because I won't be streaming, I think Jack and Chad Freeman were talking about doing a stream that night, and then I'll go remote from the concert.
Oh. Live on the scene reporter.
Yeah, live on the scene. If they allow me, I'm going to ask them to see if they'll allow me to do some filming in there. If they'll allow me, then heck yeah, we'll go live from the scene.
You need to have an official shirt with a little press badge thing on it for their channel and make it all look official. Just no blackface.
Yeah.
Jack. Jesus. So, all right, we talked about concerts and albums and what you've heard when you're a kid. Let's play a bit of music and then come back and we'll talk about school and stuff like that. Let's do that. So I'm kind of running in order today. I think this one's an older one too. This is this Conspiracy Music Lost backing track, yeah? This is an older one too?
Yeah, this one, everybody thinks that I shred on this one. I'm not a shredder as a guitar player. I'm a melodic player. I'm not a shredder. But this one is an older one that I found, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm actually shredding on this one. So I put it out, and everybody's like, oh, my God, you're shredding. I'm like, I didn't even know I could do this, to be honest with you.
Let's play this. Folks, chill, relax. We'll come back and say hello to you after this. Listen, let me cue it up and get everything. We're rocking and rolling here. We're all good. Full screen. Boom. We're happening. And we'll see you back here in approximately 4 minutes. So kick back and enjoy. Let's do this. Boom. Oh, man. All right, we've put a poll up there. Should Clay shred more? That was sick, man. That was sick.
I did that live, actually,
Why do you not
during the
shred?
live stream.
Dude,
I just don't feel it very often. I play on how the backing track makes me feel, and that one just at the time caught me at the right time, and that's just how I felt at that moment.
that was wicked. I really enjoyed that. And, I'm more used to hearing you do like a mellow, melancholy, something in B minor or B flat, whatever,
Yeah.
But shredding, man, is where you're at too. So that was killer. Good stuff. We've got
Oh, thank you.
96% on the poll so far, 25 votes. So that's cool. Oh, it's dropping down. We'll come back to it in a second. So you guys, if you are a Wart Warrior member here on the channel, you'll notice there is a clay emoji in the chat. So you can fill the chat full of clay emojis. Have at it. I want to thank everybody for being here, and the best way for me to call out your name now is type anything in the chat, so I don't have to do some crazy scrolling. Let's do some call outs. We got Kim's Cooking, we got Blue Unicorn, we got Folk Punk here, Cold Acre, Joe Glenn, Camp G-May, Dan Eckberg, we got Hobbs and Zach Thong, we got Lord Spike Protein. Who else do we have? The Falcro says anything. We got SM Borthwick, there's Joe Glenn, Valerie Bart's in the house, Mr. Smith, Kinger's Music, Sean Chandler, the Lily Pillies Manny, there's Jack himself, Rich New Design, we got Tony
Oh, hey,
Howie.
Rich.
Tony Howie says anything. Laurie's Mishmash is here. Mike and Dawn Janice. Who else do we have? Feisty Feather, of course, Princess LDG, Punkiana. I'm trying to click all the things here. Man, these at least they fixed the chat here, so I'm not getting these weird pop-ups anymore. Lars Guitars, what's going on? There you are, Lars Guitars. I'll click you there.
Lars is awesome.
And so they've got a lot of superstars in the audience today, which is lovely. So thank you all. I saw Pete John's here. I know Russ is here. I know Brad's here. I know all my mods are here. So thank you very much, mods, for doing your job. Love you lots. Let's talk about some. Let's go back again to school. Did you learn anything at school? Did you do music or anything like that? Were you forced to learn the recorder when you were young?
Well, in elementary school, in 5th and 6th grade, I was in the orchestra and I played the viola.
Nice.
But then when I got to middle school, right around the late 70s, early 80s, I was just a huge, Weird Al Yankovic was hot at the time. I was a huge nerd. I liked breakdancing because Michael Jackson was pretty hot on the scene. So I spent the next, 7th, 8th, and probably part of 9th grade playing Dungeons and Dragons and spinning around on sheets of cardboard on my back.
So you're a bit of a nerd. I think we're all nerds at heart, man. I'm sure. Put a 1 in the chat, guys, if you're a nerd as well. So you love a bit of Dungeons and Dragons. You put in your profile, in your bio, when you sent it to me, that you like yo-yos.
Mm-hmm. I do. I do like yo-yos. I even got to the point where one time I was spending up to $200 on a yo-yo.
Wow.
And yeah, I know a few tricks. It's been years since I've played, but I still, I always have one handy, and I always keep one close. And I have one right here.
All right. Well, we're going to hang on. Keep it in your hand. Come on. We were going to have you play guitar today, but some things, we couldn't get going. So instead, can you give us a bit of yo-yo?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's go full screen. We've got yo-yo action, guys. This is a first on the channel. Hang on. Yo-yo action! I love this show.
Now, it's been years since I've
look at the size of that thing too.
But...
Oh yes, first go. Can you do that triangle one where you do a triangle and you have it spinning in the triangle?
Oh, I don't have the room here.
Man, you did good straight away. You got it to spin on the end, so that's good.
Been a long time.
Oh, it's been a long, lonely yo-yo time. That's a big yo-yo, man.
Yeah, I used to have the competition yo-yos I used to play with had actual ball bearings, and they were pretty intricate. But I got this for a present the other few weeks ago.
Well, thank you for giving us a yo-yo demonstration.
And hey, because of this yo-yo, I think I got like over 2,000 views on a short.
Oh, wow. People love shorts, man, especially like it's always the weirdest shorts that do really well. Oh, he's got oh man.
I almost had it.
Dude, you rock. While you're getting your composure, I want to thank Lord Spike Protein. Thank you very much for the kind super chat. Glad you're enjoying the show. We do this every day over here on How to App on iOS. Teach a lot of people music, how to make music, how to record music, all this kind of stuff. Live shows, cool interviews, and we take a look at people's music, how they made it and stuff. So that's cool. Did you used to have, like we had here in Australia, Clay, when I was at school, especially primary school, we call it here. So these yo-yo people would come to our school, these yo-yo experts, and they would like do demonstrations with yo-yos. And then they try and sell us yo-yos at the end of it. And I was like in grade 3 and 4, that kind of thing. But did that happen in the US?
Yeah, that's how I got into yo-yos to begin with, is because they had a demonstration at school. And I thought it was cool. Guys doing all these, flipping them around in circles and catching it. And yeah, I thought that was cool stuff.
What's it called? Around the World, where you do that one and it spins on the end. Yeah, I wonder if they still do that. Do you reckon kids these days would have they'd be able to sit there for 10 minutes and watch somebody without getting distracted with a yo-yo?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Not in this day and age.
No.
They have an app for that now.
Yeah, they've probably got a yo-yo app. Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably do a show on it next week. Why not? So did you at any time when you were young, did you think about joining a band? Have you like jammed with people and got to that kind of point?
Well, yeah, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I had a group of guys that we'd all get together and basically do drugs and drink and play. A friend of ours was a gardener at the local state fairgrounds, so we'd sneak over to the fairgrounds and go into their buildings and invite all of our friends over and just have a big party and jam out. But when it comes to like playing professionally, I never played in bars or anything like that. It was mostly just for friends hanging out. And yeah.
What's interesting, a lot of people have had on the show, because you're the 102nd interview on here. And most of the interviews, I do hear are from people within these YouTube communities. And every now and again, I try and get a big celebrity, like, Billy Gould from Faith No More, and we've had Jordan Rudess on here from Dream Theater. But it's a really common story, isn't it? People start out when they're young and they're into playing music, and then life happens. And because you've got to live, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, music doesn't always put food on that fucking table. So let's talk about this. You met your wife. How long ago did you meet your wonderful wife?
I met her 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Well, I guess it's been about 12 years. Yeah, actually, she was set to marry one of my friends.
Uh-oh. we've got a scoop.
She was set to marry one of my friends. I was going to be a best man at the wedding.
Oh, now I'm intrigued.
2 weeks before the wedding, he walked out on her,
What a
left
prick.
her, left her holding the bag, left her holding everything. So I knew her through, friends and stuff, and we started talking, and one thing led to another, and yeah, 3 months later, I asked her to marry me,
Well,
and here we are.
you really turned out to be the best man because
Yeah,
he was the cunt. Wow.
yeah. So we dated for about 3 months, and then I just knew, uh, it wasn't my first marriage. I've been married and divorced before, so I kind of knew just after 3 months of the kind of person she was, and I just knew that we were meant to be together. So yeah, I asked her to marry me, and we just went down to the courthouse and got married. Uh,
Wow, I
yeah,
love it,
it's been crazy.
and clearly she's super supportive of what you do musically, and like has she? How much of an influence has she been on you doing this? Like, does she give you ideas on what to do? Is she the brains behind the unit?
No, no, she doesn't really get involved too much with it. I would like her to get more involved with it, but she got her own thing. So she did uh give me the opportunity to not have to worry about anything other than this channel. She says, I'll give you a year to do what you can with this channel and make something of it, and then we'll come back and visit it at the end of the year. So uh, for her just to even give me the opportunity to not have to, you know, try and go to work or, I can concentrate just on the channel and making the channel better. It's very awesome for her to do that. So, yeah, that's her main back, and she don't really get involved with the works of the channel itself.
It makes such a difference having somebody in your life who is just like that, gives you the opportunity to be yourself. I mean, so often people get hooked into relationships with people who hold them back and they stay there for so long. You think, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you that desperate to have somebody in your life that, you got to have somebody who lets you be free? And she obviously, she's probably hates me right now. She's like, get the spotlight off me, you bitch.
I can hear her laughing.
Good, good. That's what we want. That's what we want. Hey, maybe she could be your new co-host.
No, 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 no,
That was a pretty emphatic there.
no. That's cool. She can be the support behind me.
It's all right. She could be like your last co-host and just stay off camera. We'll talk about that later too, as well. So, so you join these communities. You find YouTube. You start like jamming and going to these open mic nights, and having a play, and you start meeting all these people. What inspired you to do what you're doing now with the channel, to play people's music?
Well, the first thing was, well, it didn't dawn on me till after I had already started. But now that I look back on it, it was because I was one of these artists that only had 37 subscribers at one time. I remember when I hit 50 subscribers, I was so excited. But it's funny, it all started off really with a Dom Torregrosse song I had heard on Metalhead Hippie Show. I was working a graveyard shift, and I was like, man, I really want this song. I'm going to start a playlist. So all the cool songs that I hear from Hippie's channel, I'm going to add to this playlist so I can just listen to this at work while I'm working. And so I started off with the Dom Torregrosse song, and now, I mean, it's morphed into, I think we're 1,000 videos or something in there now. So I was streaming at the time just by myself, and I needed to go smoke. So I asked an artist, hey, I commented, can I play one of your videos on my show? So that way I could go have a smoke break while the video played. And that eventually turned up to be a lot more than just a smoke break. People just liked it. They'd come into chat, here, play this link, play this link, play this link, play this link. And I would just add all of that stuff to the playlist. Play this link every week, play this link, and then when this last time I got sick and I couldn't go back to work, that's when I decided that I was just going to go ahead and give it a shot. I was going to find a time slot that I wasn't stepping on anybody's toes. And then I would try my shot at playing my friends' music. And by then, I've been in the community for a year. I knew a lot of these guys from chat. So that's when I decided, well, I'm going to start sharing their music as well.
It's definitely a hard thing as a musician to put videos out and get engagement. I know YouTube has so many channels out there of these experts telling you how to get 1,000 views, how to do this, how to have the best thumbnails. And that's cool for channels that are showing you how to have thumbnails and how to make bigger channels. There's a lot of people out there who are telling you how to be a fucking big YouTube channel, but the only reason they're a big YouTube channel is because they're getting people watching them on how to be a good YouTube channel. Do they actually have any content that is original, or is it just like, how are they an expert? Because they're all saying the same thing. Do this thumbnail with a picture of somebody doing this. But you look around and all the thumbnails look the same, Is that the real way to do it or not? But and you, alongside with me, I think are proving you don't have to do that. I mean, let's look at your thumbnails here. There you are. You've got a little picture of you on the side. You use a pretty similar thumbnail all the time. Metalhead Hippie does the same thing. I use a pretty similar thumbnail as well too, and it doesn't include me going and pulling stupid faces. So you can actually get success from, not following those channels. But as a musician, it's incredibly hard to get engagement. We see so many artists here, don't we, Clay, that are just amazing, and they've got 35 subs.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
How do we change this, apart from shows like yours and all the other channels that do this?
Well, for me, and I tell this to my friends that play live as well. Playing live really steps up your game. When you can go hit up open mics like Camp G May, there's handfuls that I visit every week. There's 5 or 10 open mics that I visit, even still. And I don't care if there's 7 people in there. I'll hop up, I'll do my 3-song set, and I'll leave, and I'll pick up 2 subs here. I'll pick up 4 subs here. Once I get 50 subs, I start going live. Once you start going live, keep a schedule. Make sure you go live at the same time every week. And I'm telling you, it'll start with 3 people in chat. The next week, you may have 5 people in chat. Next thing you know, you'll have 70 people in chat, and you're having to turn on slow mode because it gets a little outrageous. So,
yeah. Look, I agree with you exactly. You got to look at it like when I was young, how we used to have to look at it actually doing gigs. Go and hit any place you can. Go and get your face anywhere. Go and grind. It's what I do here on this channel. Grind like a motherfucker, and it will pay off. It'll absolutely pay off. What's your opinion on artists that release a song nearly every week?
It's a good hobby. That's fine. I know people that release 3 or 4 songs a week. It's a good hobby. I don't think you can really put emotion into a song if you're releasing one every week. Maybe some people write differently, but it's just my opinion. If you want a good quality song from the heart, I think it just takes more than a week to do that. With all the writing, the recording, you can pick up a guitar, you can turn on a camera and record yourself doing something live, but it's not the same as the time it takes to put in. If it takes you a month to write a song, I think at the end of it, you're like, wow, it took me a month. This is, all the blood, sweat, and tears was definitely worth it. I don't know for somebody that can drop a couple of songs a week if they could necessarily put the emotion in it takes to have a hit song. I think I'd rather have 1 good song than 5 okay songs.
Absolutely. It's one of the things that I wish, because we're so flooded too. We are lucky at the end of the day. We are lucky to have these communities because, like you, I'm sure everybody in the chat would agree with this. If you look at your Apple Music and your Spotify these days, there's a lot of big artists that are missing now. And there's these people that are sitting here in the chat every day that I have they pop up in my Apple Music. I'm like, there's Russ 8889. All these people just popping up who I'm chatting with every day. We live in the future with all this. And sometimes I get worried that there's so much coming out from people that sometimes a really good song gets missed and then it's released and then it's gone and then there's something else replacing it where you really want to soak that motherfucker in. If that's good, play it for a few weeks on loop. Let's go. Let's drum it home into everybody's fucking head. And then the next song.
Jack says we should stop putting out one song per week. I think doing covers is different than
absolutely
than an original tune. Doing an original tune like once a week, I don't think you could have the emotion to have a really good song in a week. I mean, you could have a good song minus the time and effort it took to really put into it. I mean, that's just my opinion. Some people are more talented. They can knock out a kick-ass song in a week. Definitely not me.
Absolutely. And the motto on this show is always do what makes you happy. I'm not saying what people should do. I'm just saying how I feel sometimes a song drops and all of a sudden it's gone and forgotten. I'm like, hang on a minute. I was just enjoying that song. Can I like to smell the wine, and especially when it smells good, I want to stick that shit up my nose like a fine line of cocaine, and sometimes things just disappear really quickly. And that's because really the music industry has operated for years and years on the mode of here's a song and we're going to shove it down your fucking throat until you can't get enough of it. And that's how songs go platinum because radio stations bombard us with it. And luckily here we have fantastic radio stations like your own. Do you look at yourself as a radio station or what do you class your channel as now these days that you're doing this?
I would say, I've talked about it before and I think it's like MTV used to be. Back in the day, you had MTV. It wasn't all reality. It was just about music. It was music videos. It was music news. It was interviews with artists. Back when music was, back when MTV was good. And that's kind of what I would like to bring back today, or at least something similar to that, where somebody can sit for a few hours of their day and watch a few videos, maybe learn something about an artist, maybe see an artist play live.
Yeah, MTV is a very different beast these days. It's all reality TV. And I don't know how that happened, but it seemed to happen so quickly. It used to be so good. Let's play a song. Let's play a track. I'm going to play this track that you did with Jack, who's here. You want to tell us a little bit about this collaboration?
Yeah, Jack sent me a backing track. I started playing with. Now I don't use a DAW. I just barely, thanks to Jack Hunter, by the way, I just barely got my very first interface. So I am gonna be hooking this up here in the next few days, starting to work with a DAW. So not working with a DAW, I haven't been able to collaborate with tons of people, and I have plenty of offers out there. So I was playing with it on OBS, and Jack recorded it on OBS and just turned it into the song that you're about to hear. Jack's got some skills when it comes to that. I didn't expect him to take me just playing live on OBS and put it into a music video. So, yeah.
Your whole life will change with that interface, my friend. It will change. Once you've got a good interface, everything's rocking from there. All right, let's do this. We'll see you back. This is Sweet Home Alabama. I shouldn't have told you and just should have said, can you pick what it is? Let's do it. We'll see you back here shortly. Boom.
has got the swampers. They've been known to make a song or two. Oh, look, they give me oh so much. They pay me up and I'm feeling blue. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue, yeah they are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, oh Lord I'm coming home to you.
We can try it again if you want.
Boom! Wicked track. Sounds
We
great.
can try it again if we want.
What was that?
Something like that.
Something like that. Tell us about something like that. Where did this come from?
Well, just playing live all the time. I just improvise. I just push a track and then improvise a solo. So it's other than the handful of backing tracks that I play consistently and I play the same all the time. A lot of the new ones I just improvise on the spot and make stuff up. So when I'm done, I'm just like, well, it was something like that, because it's just all just made up. I'm just making it up on the spot.
And so much so, it's taken off so much so that you actually have merch. Look at that merch. Look at that shiny merch. Show that shit off. Something like that. I love that it's caught on because it's cool. You need a catchphrase on YouTube. And you've even got the logo on there. How can people get hold of those?
Deedsville Merch Shop. Now, I had the opportunity. I was thinking about going with the big guys with the Teespring and stuff like that. And seeing how I'm kind of for the small guy, my good friend Deeds already has a website set up with his own merch. So I collabed with him, and he just made a section in his store for conspiracy music. So shout out to you, Deeds. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. He's got it. Oh my Lord, Deeds has a lot of merch. I went through his merch page last week. I'm like, holy shit, I was overwhelmed. I needed to take some anxiety pills. So much merch, which is a good thing, That's a good thing.
Well, and the reason why I went through him also is because he makes his own merchandise.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's homegrown, and I'm giving the money to the little guy.
Absolutely.
So that's a win in my book.
Absolutely. Love it. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about your channel. So you do something a little bit different than everybody else. Because, I remember the first one of these channels I saw playing people's music was Pete doing YML. Pete does it a little bit different where he just plays a couple of minutes of the song and asks you to go find out more. And then I came across Hippie, and Hippie does Hippie. Hippie's got his unique way. Boom, right on. Good deal. Hippies, everyone's got their unique thing. Then we had Ron Ward, who is a lunatic with his wigs and craziness. And then we've got Thomas Christ, who, does mammoth 5-hour shows as well. And you do your show too, but you take your show on the road. Tell us a bit about what going on the road means and, what's involved and why you do it.
Well, I started this because I would visit all of these other communities that do this as well. And I noticed in the chat, it was all of us, all the same musicians, the same, hey, we had 45 people in chat, which is freaking awesome. But it's the same 45 people we had last week, the same 45 people we'll have next week, and the same 45 people we have the week after that. And I thought, man, there's got to be a way that we can get people outside the music community, get these new people in here so we can get more eyes on the artist, more views for the channel. So that's when I decided to start taking it on the road. I contacted a few channels, and at first nobody wanted a 6 hour or 4 hour music show on their channel. But I had one friend, Terry, Ironton Auditor, and my other friend, Steve Harloha from Hawaii. And they're like, yeah, let's do it on our channel. So we started the first tour on Steve Harloha channel and then on the Ironton Auditor channel. So once a week we'd go in. I would do a full 6 hour show, just like I did at home. But it would be for people I had never seen before. They were all new people. Even if there was 13 people in chat or 15 people in chat, by the time it was over, he'd get 250 views or 300 views. That was 300 new eyes that had never seen these videos before, never met these artists, and were subbing to these people. And I'm like, man, this is really starting to catch on. So we did it week after week, and then it's just becoming popular now, you know.
Yeah, not only that, we're starting to see those people now bleed into other communities like mine and over in hippies and all these other channels and Thomas and it's kind of spreading. We've got G-May as well. He does these great live campfires. We love G-May. We did an interview with G-May. There's nobody like fucking G-May, is there?
Mm-hmm. Nah, Gary's awesome, man. I love G.
Same here. He's just marvelous. Look, I think these roadshows are really, really clever. I think it's a great way. You're right. You know, I've talked about this too, and amongst our little group on Clubhouse, talked about, you know, these shows are fantastic, but they're going to get to a point where you taper off. You're just preaching to the converted. So what is the next step? And what you're doing is clearly working and getting new people over here, new eyes, and it's just getting more people to have their music played from those communities. Because, you know, in every community, there's musicians.
Yes. I am meeting them everywhere. I can tell you a handful of musicians that I've met that have come into the community. I met Robin Cheyenne outside the music community. I've met Connie from up north, from outside the music community. I met It's Not a Boomer. I've met Absinthe Overdose. There's so many, Emily Malloy, just so many outside the music community that had no idea that there was a family or even a place where they could share their music and be part of something bigger into music. And a lot of these people, for instance, one guitar player named It's Not a Boomer, he submitted a 1.5 minute guitar shred, and I was blown away. I'm like, man, if you bring that to the show on Friday, give me a 3 or 4 minute jam, bring that to the show on Friday, and I'll play it. He picked up his guitar, gave me like a 5 minute jam, and I had it, you know, the day after. And he sent me a thank you note, you know, hey, you know, thanks for, you know, getting me back into music. You know, I really kind of the push that I needed. You know, it's nice that people appreciate what I'm playing, and it, you know, gives people inspiration to pick their instruments back up, which is freaking awesome.
I'll be honest, it's one of my favorite parts of the show is that you play as well. Because I know on Thomas's show, we tell Thomas off all the fucking time. We're like, dude, you should play some of your own songs every now and again. Like, you play everyone else's song, like promote yourself. Like, you know, you don't have to be a wanker about it, because Thomas isn't. But it's good, like, as a host, as somebody presenting other people's music, you got to show a little bit of who you are as well. You know, it's a little bit of, you know, you can't just like throw yourself to the back. You've got to insert your character in your musical journey. How has playing people's music helped you with your confidence playing?
Oh, tons. All of these people over in chat, these are the people that inspire me to get better. You know, I'm playing all of their music, and just the heart and soul that they put into it leads into me. And I want to be as good as these guys. You know, I want to be able to put out quality music like these artists are doing. And yeah, it strives me to want to get better. And I know if you hear something when I first started playing 4 years ago till now, I know I've gotten a lot better. And sometimes as a musician, it's a hard hill to swallow to know that okay, I'm okay, I'm good, I guess, in other people's eyes. But yeah, it definitely gives me inspiration to get better because I want to be able to play as well as these people. And in my eyes, all these guys over here in chat, they're stars, you know. I There's so many of them in there that should be on world tours right now, instead of YouTube tours. You know what I mean?
Well, it's hard to go on tour. You need to sell a lot of fucking merch. At least. I love these communities, man. I love that we have this. You know, it's a gift. I was on YouTube. I first started my YouTube channel in 2007, and I did nothing with it for years. Probably from about 2010, I started putting my music up, and my YouTube channel sat at like 300 for like 7 years because nobody gives a fuck, and there wasn't this kind of community out there to push music. And I was still playing live and touring and, you know, playing gigs in the UK and doing all this stuff. So I didn't have time for fucking YouTube. But now these days, I've got a place to push YouTube, and you know, this show has changed me to be able to grow my numbers. But it's a lot of try and convey like how hard it is, because I've said it many times. Doing this and consistently at a time slot and keeping up a consistent show is incredibly hard. And the more popular you get, the harder it gets because there's more work and there's more, and you don't see behind the scenes how much work. How much work do you think you put in to prepare for all these shows each and every week?
Oh man, with all of the promo videos I put out and preparing for the show, probably 50 hours a week, I'm sure. Every day I wake up, I'm over here either doing a promo video, fixing a promo video, sending emails to artists, hey, you want to come with me on the road show? Or yeah, I really had one opportunity to do this, so I want to, you know, try and make it as successful as I can. And if it means that I have to be in this chair for 10 hours a day every day, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. This scene here, this is my studio here. For the longest time, behind me, where my green screen is, my bed was there. This was my this was my fucking bedroom. This is what I look at every day. And even now I've moved my bed into another room, I still spend more fucking time in this room than my bed. And it's a long time sitting in this chair, and that's offline. You know, I only do an hour show, mostly a day in these 2-hour interviews. And God, yeah, it got so bad, Clay. This chair that I have, this cost me a fortune. After 2 years, this chair's fucked. And this chair's supposed to last me 5 years. It's fucked. It's all cracked and it's all split just from how much time my ass sits in this fucker. So, you know, it's a lot of work to do these things. So anybody who is like considering, yeah, exactly. That's what I need. I need an ass protector. That could be clipped so badly. We won't go there. Let's talk a little bit about copyright and YouTube content ID. I saw Jack bring it up. It's here on my list. It's a thing. And it's a hard one because we live in a day and age where, and I think a lot of people don't understand how copyright and content ID works. So you can copyright songs. You can go to a publisher and get your music copyrighted, or you can release music through a digital distributor and add YouTube content ID to your songs. I always suggest to people who are releasing music to don't put YouTube content ID on, especially if you've got 35 fucking subs. You're not that fucking special. Like, chill. Like, I saw somebody yesterday on Facebook. They put their new song up and they're like, check out my new song. And I went to the YouTube channel and they've got 12 subscribers and they've got all these publishing rights all across the song and content ID. And I'm like, fucking hell, how do you expect anybody to fucking play this and like push you? You're already like crippling yourself. How do you deal with content ID on your channel?
Fuck. It is
Fuck.
a constant battle. I tell you. Now, at the beginning, I used to edit all of the claims out, but I didn't realize that you lost chat with that.
Yeah.
So I recently stopped doing that and started fighting the claims instead. It's about 50-50. Some I win, some I don't. I fight them all for fair use. The ones that don't are all eligible for ad revenue sharing. So it doesn't affect any of them. The only monetization that it affects is the ad revenue. So someone like me that has 700 views a week, I'm not collecting anything on ad revenue. It doesn't affect my channel in any way. The only claims that do affect the channel are the global blocks. And what that can do is if you get a global block, that'll stop you from certain part of the planet seeing the rest of your stream. The only way to fix that is to edit it out. And then you lose your chat with that. That's why you'll see a lot of streamers will have their chat in the window with them. If you have to edit your window, you lose your YouTube chat, you still have your chat in the window.
Yeah.
So it's a constant battle. Yes.
It is. It is. It's a, and you know, I open every show here with a song, but I am not a channel that primarily plays people's music. I am a tutorial channel that teaches people. So, you know, I have to be careful each and every day who I pick to make sure I'm not going to get a claim, because that's only 2 minutes or 3 minutes of my show. And then if I get a claim that just wipes out my video, what's the point of me even doing my show, which is really hard. So I always implore people, don't add copy content ID. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I get 4 to 6 claims every week. I fight them all for fair use. And some of the artists are over here in chat. I'm not going to mention any names, but but I love you guys anyway. And I stopped editing videos. I just figure, well, if I'm going to share the ad revenue, that's fine. I'll share it with them. I'm not going to lose my chat. The chat is important. That's where all the links are.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I just stopped altogether. And last week I didn't even fight any claims. I just let them have it. There's no globals on there, so I'm not worried about any blocks. So it doesn't affect the channel in any way.
So the three forms
other than ad revenue.
So the 3 forms of claims you can get, for those of you who aren't sure about it, it is the total block, is your worldwide block, where you're fucked, and you have to chop it completely out. It won't be seen by anyone in those particular countries. Then you've got a normal claim, which doesn't affect your channel, but it kind of does, because when you do get a lot of them, it affects your when you release a live stream, if they're going to immediately allow you to monetize
Ads on it.
Yeah, and they have to go
ads on
through a process to check, because the more you put up a video that goes that is claiming to be okay, but it gets a claim, they remember. The AI bots remember. And then you've got sharing claims, which is if you do a cover and it's not exactly the same, then they'll share. And then sometimes you can do a cover and totally get away with it. But don't think for a minute there that you're free, because 2 years' time from now,
Oh yeah.
all of a sudden you'll get an email saying, hey, remember that song you did 2 years ago, asshole? We're claiming you right now. That happens all the time. And
Yeah, I just got a claim from like 8 months ago.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a juggling act. It really is a juggling act, and it's something we're constantly thinking about. So, you know, it's good that we talk about it, because, you know, musicians need to be aware. So, yeah, ad suitability, G-May, that's the one. The ad suitability title. It's like, hang on a minute. How many times did I say the word fuck? A lot, because I swear way too fucking much on this channel, and I'm never going to fucking change. It is what it is. These days I just hold up my cup instead of saying the magic C word, because it's easier. Let's I'm gonna play another song, and because we got about half an hour to go, and I'm gonna wrap up with the fun stuff, of course. let's play this. This is Cold. Do you want to tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, this one actually. So my wife, I told her how I wanted to start making my own backing tracks, so that I could play live. So she went out and bought me this 64 key keyboard. Uh, and I was like, okay. And at first I was going to learn how to play the piano. I didn't realize how much time it took, though. That's another story. But yeah, so she bought me this piano. I learned 2 chords on it. I hit the record button on OBS and then recorded it. So yeah, this is what it turned out. There's really no story behind it. It was the very first 2 chords that I had learned how to play on the keyboard, and I just picked 2 random chords off of Google, and that's why it came out.
Awesome. Let's do it. That's enough of a story for me, man. Let's do it, guys. We'll see you back here shortly. This is Cold. Boom. You know what excites me, Clay? We're playing all these little snippets of you, or this growth, the evolution of Clay. Right? What really excites me is that you have an interface now, and going forward, you're going to be one of these people who are collaborating. That's this year. That's what's happening, and that's what's super exciting. And guys, it's up to you now to reach out to Clay and make him be the collaboration. I know Jack's already done stuff with him, and now that you've got all that gear, we're going to have you doing solos over people's stuff, you writing music, and that's super exciting because you give back by playing so much music. It's time for you to be that musician as well. That's cool. Oops, I've got you muted. Sorry, mate.
I'm excited. I've got a lot of people that want to collaborate now, and I just haven't had the equipment. But thanks to Jack, that's going to be changing here in the near future. So I'm excited about that. And I mean, my wife just surprised me yesterday. She bought me the PreSonus 3.5 monitor speakers. So I got them hooked up and they sound amazing.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, once you go monitors, you never go back. That reminds me of something sexual. But no, I think it's really exciting. I can't wait to hear you do more than just these backing tracks. Now, we were going to have you play today, but unfortunately, we couldn't get that happening. But that's okay because it's not all about that. Well, I wanted to get to know you today. Like, that's what this was all about. That's why I have people on here. Let's find out about the people behind what they do. And let's talk about your channel because in the very short time of existence, and I have to go here and talk about it, you had a somebody else hosting with you for a very short time, and that all changed. There was some drama that went down, and all this kind of shit happened, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? How did all that affect you with Doc, and the shit that went down, and you having to make a decision for your show to go forward? What was the thought process? How long did you struggle with like deciding to
4
move
days? Yeah, 4 days. It took me 4 days to make the decision. It was a rough 4 days because I got to know Doc personally, and I considered him a friend, and I still consider him a friend. He may not think the same way, but yeah, I sat on the decision for 4 days before I finally decided what I was going to do. And man, it was rough. It really was rough. It made me think about where I started with this channel and where I wanted to go with this channel. And it came to the realization that this whole channel and what I do started because of these artists that I play. And if I don't stand up for every single one of them, then what am I doing here? So it took me a while to come to the decision, but I think it was the best decision for the channel and the best decision for the artists that I represent.
Absolutely. And I'm not sitting here trying to throw any shade on Doc or anything like that. People are how they are. People find me incredibly fucking abrasive. I have some pretty hardcore views. I don't hold back on anything, and I never try to insult anybody or anything like that, although I do get comments of people calling me a gross tranny weirdo and all this shit, which is cool. Hey, if you don't like me because I'm trans or whatever, go fuck yourself. I could give a shit. Go whatever.
Exactly.
And you know what? I don't need to fucking know about it. Just don't enjoy me and fuck off. Like, that's cool. But you got to be who you are. And the one thing about Doc was, he was true to who he was. He said from the beginning, I'm abrasive. I'm in your face. I'm going to fuck with you. And when you put that out there sometimes, eventually people go, you know what? You are. And that's what happens, and some people don't like it. And I could tell it was like something that you had clearly thought about, and, it was a struggle. I could see it when you did it. And you had lots of people saying you were brave and stuff like that. I don't know about brave. You didn't fight a war or anything, but, you tried to listen to the artists and things like that, because what I loved about when you did that video was you weren't up there slagging Doc. You weren't calling him a cunt or anything, but you were saying it's about the artists. And if the artists are saying something, you got to listen to the artists because they make your channel.
Yeah.
You know, how has it been since then? And I've seen a lot of people saying, "I'd like to be the new co-host."
Well, I have been bombarded with offers to be the co-host. I even put it out there that I was looking for one, but I quickly changed my mind and realized that I don't necessarily want to jump back into the same swimming pool I just climbed out of. So definitely not so willing, but to have co-hosts come on occasion and hang out with me for special events or for road shows, that's different. That's going to continue. But I think for now, I'm just going to keep going solo and just see where it goes. It is a little bit harder not having a co-host, but I did it before, and I'll do it again. And yeah, so.
Well, you're in a good position because you have a really solid admin who moderates, even though you give out moderators to everybody. But how do I say anti-jack?
Anti-adjack.
Jack.
Yeah, he don't mess around.
Yeah. So you've got good mods, and that's important. You know, I want to ask about this. I don't get it. What is with everybody giving mods to everybody? Is it just so people can put links in? Is that why?
Mm-hmm. For me, it's so people can put links in. It's also so a lot of new artists come. So it gives the opportunity for the people in chat just to click on the 3 dots, go to their channel and subscribe without me playing a video. Because I can't play every artist video that shows up in chat. You know what I mean? I'd have to have a 12-hour show.
Yeah. And I wish YouTube would listen to this too, because you know what's interesting? You absolutely used to be able to just right click without a moderator and go to people's channels. I don't know why the fuck YouTube removed that. It's utterly ridiculous because there's so many names that are hard to find by doing a search. You know, you've got some people who put little emojis in their names and stuff like that. I don't know why they took that away. It was one of the more stupid decisions YouTube have done. You know, the one reason I wouldn't on my channel give out mods for everything is because of the amount of bots that come in. So luckily, it looks like that's slowing down a fair bit. We haven't had many bots lately.
I haven't seen any for a while.
No, you would have noticed too. Thank you, Jack, for becoming a Wart Warrior. You now have custom emojis to play with. And every month we do a secret show where we roast your music. So you've been a part of that, haven't you, Clay? You've been at the roast.
Yeah, I was roasted one.
You were roasted?
I think I was roasted on the first one.
Yeah. How was that experience, coming on the Sunday roast and getting your music roasted by everybody?
Oh, I loved it. I love it. Because all of the people that we were hanging out with, chat, all of these guys over here, you know, like your friends, roasting your nuts over a song. I love it. You know, it's the greatest thing, and to give it back is even more fun. You know?
Absolutely. So if you don't know what we do here on the channel, guys, if you're a member, every couple of months we do a Sunday roast where you submit your music, but instead of us telling you how great you are, we tell you how fucking shit you are. And we point out every single crappy thing about your song, and we make you feel like an absolute bag of dog shit. All in the name of laughter.
It's the best time.
Because you need a release sometimes, don't you? There's so much positivity. And I'm not shitting on positivity, but we're all so supportive. In life, you need balance. And when you have communities like this, when we're all so supportive, I thought, hey, we can do this because people aren't going to get shitty and take it personally because there's so much positivity. And it's been a good time. And now that we have Russ's mum involved, so if you don't know, Russ's mum is now one of the hosts of the show where she comes on. How old is your mum, Russ? I can't remember how old she is, but she comes on and she slays motherfuckers.
I seen your interview with her. That was amazing. Dot, is that her name?
Dot, yeah, she's a gem.
Amazing interview with her. Yeah, that was good.
If you haven't seen that, go back and watch the interview with Russ's mum, Dot. What a story. And and Dot comes on the show. 83 she is, Russ says. and she comes on and she roasts the crap out of the you guys' music. And the thing is, because a lot of your music she hasn't really heard, so I don't know if she's actually telling the truth or not. That's the thing that's scary, but we love doing that. So that's a good time. I mentioned to you at the start of this show that hopefully, maybe in the future, we may do a collab where you come and bring your show over here. I'd be interested in having you on the road for a sponsored maybe DistroKid show or something like that. What do you think, guys? We do something like that. Bring Clay over on here, and even though it's from the same community, but I do have a different audience as well for people who just are into iOS apps. So there still is that other community. And then we can get away with playing stuff and have a sponsor as well. So maybe we'll do that in a couple of months' time or a month or so. And that would be fun.
I'd love to have bring the road show over, and maybe I can get an artist to show up and play live.
Well, and going back to about having a co-host, I like that you're not getting an extra co-host. We discussed this before the show. I think it's a really good opportunity for artists to just pop on. And what do you think? Are you going to do that and encourage more people to come on and jam and stuff like that?
Yes, absolutely. I definitely want to encourage more people to come on and play live. Not even if you don't have the ability to play live right off the bat, just to even come up while we play one of your videos. Because when we're out on the road show, especially, all of these new people that are coming into chat, when they get to meet you guys that were playing videos, man, it's a whole new experience for them. And it's like backstage passes when they can, tag you in chat and talk to you and be like, oh man, that was a great video and your music is awesome. And I think people really dig that. They dig the, rubbing elbows with the artists. So definitely I want to do that for sure. More artists coming up, popping in, playing a song, playing a set, or even co-hosting a full 6-hour show with me just to hang out, not even to play live, but just to hang out and take part in the fun.
Absolutely. So with the channel, do you have a vision of where you want to go with this? Do you have any long-term plan for it, a roadmap, anything like that?
Well, kind of. I'm starting off with the merch, so I'm going to start with more merch. I'm definitely going to be hitting up new communities. So in the future, I've often thought about like what would happen if I had, 20,000 subscribers. How am I going to work that? And what I'm going to do is just keep doing what I do now. I want to keep at least the people in chat personable. I don't want it to get to where, there's so many people in chat that you can't talk to them or be somewhat personable. It would be awesome to have 700 people in chat, and maybe one day I'll get there. And then I guess that's where slow mode comes. But there's one thing I notice about them big channels, 750,000 subscribers. They don't interact with their chat. And I got to tell you, you YouTube chatters are needy little bitches.
They haven't been needy today, man.
If you don't call them out in chat, they're going to whine. Hey, what about me? Where's my wrench?
Well, you've caused that by giving everyone wrenches. That's your own shit, man. You got to deal with that. But, on these shows, when I interview people, as I said at the start, I normally wait half an hour to just say shouts, and then I don't do it again. So if I know there's lots of you in here who've come in late, so I do apologize, Laurie and JDL and Les, and there's heaps of people. So I do love you. But I always think about it too when I have a guest on, that I'm spending time with you. I want people to get the most out of this. So I know you're there, guys. I love you heaps. But this is like the moment where every week I get to take the polish and shine it on this amazing diamond. So by the end, hopefully, this amazing diamond, whoever I have right here, shines a little bit brighter. So that's why I don't spend a lot of time with chat. Now, and I'll tell you, Clay, I'm a moderator on probably about 26 channels here on YouTube. And I used to be a moderator on one of the biggest wrestling channels here on YouTube. And fuck me, man. When you've got 14,000 people in the chat for WrestleMania and you're a moderator, it's fucked. It is fucked because you just can't control it all. There are people in there writing shit that you just think, why the fuck would you write that? What is your damage, dude? Like, why are you not in a mental institution? And I have to look after, you have to, the more popular you get, the more crazies come as well too. It's really insane. I fear the day that we get up to those numbers because you got to have a good team looking after your chat.
Well, yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed with the growth of my channel, especially in the last few months. I've always had some before, but with the growing channel, the trolls are multiplying and the gremlins are multiplying, and they don't affect me. They'll pop into chat every now and again, but I don't mess around. I'll just tell them where the bird shits and move on with the show.
Yeah, I saw one come into your chat. I think it was aimed at me. It was called Jade's Balls, and they had a close-up of somebody's crotch with 2 eggs, and I'm like, and they just created the account. Like, on that day, I'm like, really? That's the best you got for a trans person? That's the best, motherfucker? You think come on, man. You got to try harder than that. We live in a world where fucking the whole of the US wants us eradicated from society. You got to do better than that, man.
Well, there's people that have multiple accounts.
Yeah.
I have 2 accounts. I have my conspiracy music account, and then I have an account under my real name that I use. I think I have one video on it, but it sits there in case something happens to this channel. I still have my other channel. I can still comment or whatnot,
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got a few channels. I've actually got you'd probably be interested in this, Clay. I've got a comedy channel that takes the piss out of conspiracy channels, where I take their videos and chop them up and put them all into different order, where it sounds like they're saying stuff that's completely the opposite of what they're saying.
I probably would like that. I didn't know you had. I know you were starting a new channel. I didn't know you already had multiple channels.
Yeah, I have a few things from the past.
You don't really promote them, do you?
Nah, they're on my website.
I'd never really heard about them until today. So
yeah, they're funny, but they're very niche. You know what I'm saying? You create these things for your own like stupidity. I only made them for my own laughter, so I could laugh about them. Yeah, I've taken, but a lot of the videos of people like attacking trans people, and I chop it all up and make it out that they love sucking trans dick and stuff like that. So, and then they send all their trolls over to my channel to attack me, and I just laugh. It's good fun. So there's that. Pete says here, the Earth is not flat. I hope so. I don't want to fall off. All right, we are getting close. We are at the end. I'm probably going to call it early today, if by a few minutes. Just we have Pete's show coming up. I want to let people know first before we wrap up, and I ask you our final question and stuff like that, and wrap up with a song. I just want to let people know I've got something really special coming up this weekend. I hope you can come and join me. It is, wrong button. It is the opening hour Easter Bunny special. So this is happening on Saturday if you're in the US, and Sunday here in Australia. And I implore you to come over because I'm actually doing a bunch of covers from the community. And they include Mr. Smith, Robin Cheyenne, Brad Example. Who else have I got? I can't think who the other people were, but Kim Harden Hudson. There's about 8 or 9 covers I am doing of people in the community on my acoustic guitar. So hopefully you can come over and join me for that. And I may even wear an Easter Bunny costume just to be a complete dickhead. So there you go. All right, so that's our advertising out of the way. And Manny, you may not escape from this either. I think there might even be a Lily Pilly song in there too. All right, dude, I want to thank you so much for coming on here and spending some time with me today. It's really been awesome to get to know who you are. And I'm really excited about what's to come for the channel and you to keep growing. It's really cool to see you growing, and so happy to see you up there by yourself in a more positive kind of show. I really enjoy that. And yeah,
Thank you.
how can people get their music to you to get onto your show?
Well, the one thing about my show that's different than these other shows, all you got to do is show up in chat, get your name on the list. Usually it's about 35 to 40 artists that I can play in a 6-hour period. So it's basically the first 35 or 40 artists that can get in there and give me a link. So even if you don't hang out for the full 6 hours and you're at the bottom of the list, if you made the list, you're going to get played that night, regardless. But I also have people email me. They send me links on my Discord. Them are always helpful, especially out on the road show, because we don't get as many artists in the show on the road show. So a lot of times I'm digging in the files to find artists to play to finish the show out. So them emails and Discord messages, them all help as well. And especially if you got a premiere coming up, you got something new happening for your channel, best way would just be to email me and be like, hey, I got this coming up on this date. Here's a link to it. I'll start dropping that link when I do road shows. I'll start dropping that link on my show. So yeah.
And get there early. I see a lot of people get to your show early so they can leave a comment just to get on and get played first. Yeah, that's the way you do it. Get there early. So folks, also down in the description, as always, is the link to Conspiracy Music's YouTube channel and the Discord. Go and sign up to his Discord. It is packed full of stuff. It's so packed full of stuff you'll get lost. It's wicked. He's really put a lot of work into the Discord, so that link's down in the description as well. I can let you know now also, next week on the show, we've got another amazing human being coming on the show. We have Hugh Caldwell coming on.
Oh, yes.
Gonna be a sick show. I've already got a translator, and I've got a translator to translate the translator, so I can't go wrong. I'm gonna, you know what? He keeps saying that. Hugh keeps saying, you're gonna need a translator. Dude, my first partner was Scottish. I can speak Scottish backwards. I can understand drunk Scottish people, right? So chill. I'll understand you. Everybody else, you may need to turn on the closed captions. I will make sure they're on for that show. I'm going to hit you with the last question I smash everybody with, Clay. If you were giving advice to somebody starting out making music or a YouTube channel or just being creative, doing the thing that is passionate to them, when do you think is the best time for them to start?
Right now. Start right now. It's never too late to follow your dreams. I know artists right now that waited until they were 56 years old to play guitar, and they have music videos that I play personally on my show. Whatever it is your dream is, don't wait. Don't put it off because you're going to end up being 70 years old one day and regretting not doing what you wanted to do. So if you go for your dreams and they fail, at least you tried. But if you don't even try, you'll never know what the outcome is anyway. So start now and yeah, give it all.
Absolutely. It's not a trick question, that one, but the reason I ask it every week is just to bring it home. Just do it. Do the things that make you happy, folks. Mistakes make you better, and we all rise together. I say it every fucking day on this channel. We're going to go out with a song here, which is an original track of yours called Bitter Bones or Beautiful Butterflies. Tell us about this sucker.
This is another one that I did recorded live. I had this 2-chord progression stuck in my head, and I still, this song still bugs me because it's unfinished. But it's an E minor and a C. And when I first played them 2 chords together, it just something in my feel just hit me. And the rest of this was all just improvised on the spot. And yeah, still when I listen to this, I still gives me the chills because something about the E minor and C chords that I don't know, it hits me right here in the feels.
And that's why I'm playing it last, my friend. I knew that. All right. Guys, thank you for being here. We're going to go this song. If you hang out till the end, I will automatically dump you over to Pete Johns' channel with a Jade raid, and you can all go and raid Pete's channel and go hang out. He's doing his podcast live. From here on, I'll see you on the weekend for my Easter special, and then the week coming up, I've got heaps of cool apps to look at. I'm going to be finishing off my music video clip for Kindercore, and hopefully have that ready to go on everybody's music shows this next week. Let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Clay. Peace. Let's do this. Well, let Hippie say the last word.
Boom.
There you go. Let's do it. and hit the like on the way out. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, folks. I'll love you a long time. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. You guys have been awesome.